Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Yes, sir. Bob, we're back with the live dry run show. I know we don't have much of a title up there right now, but we are trying our very first live show, and so we're going to need some participation. We have run into a little bit of a technical glitch right off the bat, so we don't know if it's going to work or not work, and that is the Skype portion for you guys to call in. However, you can still participate by using the live chat if you're on the Spreaker website. I'm pretty sure if you're using your apps on your phones, you can probably do a live chat via there. You can also get a hold of me or type in any comments or questions via the Facebook page, because I am just posting a link on the Facebook page. I like, because I really know how to speak, don't I? So anyways, yeah, so I'm going to be monitoring the Facebook page and the chat window along with Eric. And speaking of Eric, good afternoon, Eric.
Good day, sir.
And how has your week been?
You know what? It's been a juggle between the two things, because we're trying to start the scrap business here, and I've been managing, trying to find people to hire, and it's very hard to hire in the city. So luckily I have a truck driver starting in the morning on Monday. So we'll see how it goes. But I heard you had quite the surprise yesterday.
Oh, we definitely did. I'll get into that in a minute. Speaking of hiring truck drivers, apparently I've been told I'm not a truck driver anymore.
Oh, that's horse crap.
But we'll get into that later in the show. There's a few topics or subjects I want to touch on. And yes, we had quite the start to our weekend. For those who follow us on Facebook already know, but a lot of you already know, Jess is in England. And the little bugger went and fooled us, telling us she and her boyfriend were going to Greece for a holiday. Apparently, the pilot took a wrong turn, and somehow Ottawa is now the new Greece, as she showed up at our doorstep last night at 7:30 at night. Talk about a blubbering surprise for Linda, because she was a blubbering for about an hour last night. So that was definitely a very pleasant surprise that she showed up, and she's going to be here now for the next 10 days. So, and and Linda apparently has all next week off that she didn't know about. I, unfortunately, on the other hand, do not. So, but, hey, what can I say?
So Jess called her employer and gave her a week off? Is that what happened?
Yeah, basically Jess got a hold of one of Linda's bosses. The other one who is off anyways still, so she didn't have to worry about that one. But one of her bosses, Jess got a hold of him, and they made the arrangements, and she set it up so that Linda could be off all next week. So, but
you know what's going to happen with this, right?
What's
my wife is going to hear about it, and then she's going to expect me to do the same thing. To plan a vacation somewhere,
and call her boss and say, "Hey,
yeah.
She needs to be off."
That's right.
All I can say is good luck with that.
Yeah.
Because you might fail miserably, and then you know what's going to happen then.
Oh, I will. I think she'll be mad if I call her boss, and then we're going to go to Wonderland or something. Or,
Yeah. So anyway, we are looking for you guys to participate in the show. Again, you can do it via the Facebook page. The link is up, so you can go with Big Rig Talk. I should actually bring up my personal page, which I will do right now, and you guys can participate through there too, those that aren't on the Big Rig Talk page. So I'm just going to post the link there now, and you guys can go to that. So we're going to try to touch on a few subjects today, so I'd like to hear from you guys. What's your CB handle? Is going to be one of the topics. You guys, let us know what your CB handle is. If somebody could at some point, and I'll mention it again later, go ahead and try calling in via Skype. It would be interesting to see if it's actually working, although I know we're having issues, I can't even speak, with the live, what is it called? Live wire?
The virtual wire.
Virtual wire, that's it. So that's gone technical, and, well, we know how I am with the technical stuff. Also, I'm going to touch on a few comments from past videos, and also you guys can chime in. What's your favorite truck? What's the most favorite truck that you like to drive? or that you've driven, or that you want to drive, future truck that you want to own. Anyways, yeah, your favorite truck. It'd be interesting to find out what trucks you guys think are, what's your favorite? What is it you like? Other than that, today's show is going to be pretty much winging it, I think. That's
why we called it a dry run, right?
Yes, that's
a dry run show.
Exactly, because we're dry. We're very, very dry. So, guys, we're looking for any help and participation so that we can work out the bugs and get things figured out ahead of time, so that when we go the full live show, which will be next weekend, next Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time yet again, we'll hopefully have the bugs worked out and we'll have things working properly. Other than that, anything new and exciting with you, Eric?
No, not really. We're probably going to launch the business I'm managing there in the first week of October. So it's more getting the health and safety stuff and renovating the warehouse. So there's still a lot of work. I've been spending a lot of hours there during the week. But it's we're in a great location, so it's a lot of people have inquired about when we're going to open, and I've already bought material. So it's I think it's going to be a happening place in the auto area for the scrap industry.
Well, that's good. So we'll have something other than just Baker met to
that's right, yeah,
deal with in their highway robbery.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm talking from years ago when I used to be in the towing business, and that was the only place we had to go to sell our scrap metal.
Yeah, it's
and the old cars and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did have a comment in the live chat saying there is a bit of an echo. Do you have the speaker still on, Eric?
Let me see.
This is what I got asked, and this is usually where we end up with the echo.
Let's try.
So this is the kind of participation I need, and I want to thank Tufel for that. You guys let us know where we can tweak things, because I can't hear ourselves right now, and it would sound different for us than it would for you guys. So one other thing, Tufel, are you listening through your app on the phone, or are you listening via your computer? It's his environment with reverberation, he says. Empty bathroom sound. Well, Eric's mic is meant to sound crazy. Yeah. We want him to sound like he's in a box, even though he's not. And Tufel says he's listening through the speakers on his PC. And just the only reason I'm asking that is just because I'm curious as to, if there's any difference between listening through a phone or listening through the PC type deal. I don't know if there'd be any differences there. Possibly not. At least I wouldn't hope there would be. So, other than that, Eric's playing with buttons, and, because that's what Eric does, right?
That's what I do.
So, how's my microphone sounding, Tufel? Are we sounding okay at your end as far as mine goes? I know we've got a bit of a barrier here, but I don't know how well it's working right now. I know in the last show, my microphone was a little bit, I won't say muffled, but a little deeper sounding. It didn't have quite the tinniness to it. But we kind of like having Eric in the box. I wonder if we should just make that your new nickname, Eric in the Box.
Maybe.
Someone did suggest during the week that we call you Big E or Eric the Great. Tufel says, my levels are fine, so it's just you, Eric. Well, and that's basically how it was last week, so that's kind of the sound we're going for. Mm-hmm. As long as it's not too echoey, that's the big thing. We don't want it too echoey. So, anyways, to get back on some of our subjects again, CB handles, your favorite truck, and I think we're coming close to our first break here yet. No, we still got a couple of minutes, I think.
Yeah.
And also, I'm going to touch on some of the comments on a few of the past videos here, because a lot of people are still asking. I don't know if they're just not grasping what it is I'm doing, or because I'm still getting, when are you returning to trucking? Why aren't you in trucking yet? And blah blah blah. And one of the other interesting comments I got, was it today or yesterday? I can't remember. Sorry, got a cough on mic, which is never good. Dry mouth. was one person insisted on saying, "Oh, it's a pity you're no longer a trucker." And my question is, what makes you think I'm no longer a trucker? Just because I'm not driving a truck, does that automatically cancel out my 28 years of being behind the wheel and now I'm no longer a truck driver? William just chimed in, said, Eric the dispatcher.
The dispatcher.
Well, yeah. And hello to Ian. Thanks for joining us. His favorite truck, because he is not a truck driver. Ian lives here in the Ottawa area, and I've met Ian, really nice guy. His favorite truck, and I'm going to have to agree with him on this one, and I'm pretty sure you will too, Eric, is the ice cream truck.
Oh, yeah. He was just here an hour ago. You missed him.
Oh,
you barely missed him.
Doesn't that just figure? We haven't seen the ice cream truck on our street, I think at the beginning of the summer, and that was it. I've heard him around the neighborhood, but I've only seen him once, which kind of really sucks because even as adults, we still love to go out and catch that ice cream kid. You know, you wait till there's a whole bunch of kids out there, and then you run out and pretend like, oh, you're there with the kids, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, you order your ice cream, and unfortunately the kids take off one direction, and you're left standing there, and, you know, the guy's looking at you going, well, you don't have no kids. What are you doing here? But, yeah, ice cream's for everybody. I agree with Ian. Ice cream truck is, you know, by far got to be the best truck out there.
A couple of weeks ago, we had there was a nice young lady who was driving the ice cream trucks, and for some reason, all the dads were on the street buying ice cream.
Of course. Yeah. That was just their ploy, I bet.
Yeah, probably.
It was just buying it for themselves.
My wife gave me a look, and it was like the look like, don't you dare.
Don't you? She forbid you for going out to get ice cream? Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
That just wouldn't work. Linda would actually be forcing me to go out and get it. So she'd be like, get your butt out there and get that ice cream truck stopped. So, not that I need it. So, at any rate, guys, that's gonna our intro segment here. I want to thank Marianne for joining us here. She says Freightliner, and we're going to touch on that in a minute. But we're just going to head into our first break. It's only going to be a very short one here, but stay tuned, guys. We're going to be right back.
Hi everyone, producer Eric here from Big Rig Talk. If you have a product or service related to the trucking industry, we would like to offer you free advertising for your business. Whether you offer overflow parking, a repair shop, or even if you need to recruit a couple of drivers for your growing business, we will advertise it for you. How can you advertise? Simply email us at bigrigtalkshow@gmail.com to find out what time slots are available. Once you're happy with the time slot, we will ask you to record your commercial. All we need from you is the voiceover. We can add sound effects and a jingle. Once the commercial is completed, we will send it back to you and get your approval. And there are no catches. This is 100% free until further notice. Don't wait any longer. Get your business out in a content-rich environment. Email us today at bigrigtalkshow@gmail.com. Do you have a show idea? Contact us at bigrigtalkshow@gmail.com.
And we're back. Like I said, that was just a short little break. John says break, question mark. Yeah. Well, we got to have breaks here and there. I mean, come on, just because you just chimed in while the break started. We don't need no stinking breaks, he says. So, at any rate, I want to welcome John to the show. Jason has joined. Let's see, Tufel is still here. Bumper volume is slightly high. Do you know what that means, Eric? Because I don't. Apparently, Tufel is knowledgeable here. Anyways, Marianne Hitchcock did mention her favorite truck is a Freightliner. We're not sure why the Freight Shaker is her favorite. What is it about the Freightliner, Marianne, that makes you like it? Ian says the sound works fine on his little Bose speaker. Yeah, we're not having, I don't think, an issue with mine, but we've got Eric sounding like he's in a box, which is kind of what we're going for. Eric in the box. Kind of like Jack in the Box. He does just pop out every now and then, right? So, but at any rate, okay, so right now, while we're waiting for anyone to chime in on that particular subject, I've lost my Facebook subject page here, but I think people are just going to chime in on the podcast or on Spreaker.com here, which would be the easiest and best. But I did want to, again, talk about what I'm doing right now in this dry show. A lot of people, I don't think, really get it. I mean, I don't know if people understand how much is actually involved in driving a school bus. I mean, I know it doesn't sound glamorous, and it's like, oh, you're just driving a school bus. But you got to remember, it's not like driving the family van down to the corner store with, your 2 kids that are bouncing around in the back. You got 40 kids bouncing around in the back. And it's amazing, even though I've got high school kids in the bus for one of my runs, some of them are grade 7s and 8s, and they still act like they're in grade 5 or 6. So they can be quite the challenge to keep them quiet, especially when they're chucking water bottles back at each other through the bus, which can be a dangerous situation. And when you're driving the truck, obviously you've got a lot of challenges. You've got the weight, you've got the other cars around you, but in general, you're on your own. You're inside the truck. You can play your music, and you concentrate on the road in front of you.
And you don't have to watch what you do all the time because you're alone in the truck.
Well, yeah, you do have
eyes on. I mean,
you do have to watch. Well, yes, in that sense, if you're going to do something a little sneaky, you know.
If you're going to flip off somebody, or
exactly. So, but no, what I'm kind of getting at here is, you have a little bit more control over what's going on, whereas in a bus, I mean, you've got 30, 40 kids, which is the most valuable cargo there is out there. There is no cargo in trucking that is more valuable than human life. And everything you do on the road can affect what's going on in the back of your bus. Braking too hard, making a really quick steer movement, jerking your steering wheel to avoid something in the road. You got to be conscious of that all the time. Making sure, and everyone knows this, you see it all the time, and maybe you don't necessarily think of it. You drivers that are going down some of these rural roads or whatever, going to do your deliveries, and it happens to be early in the morning, and all of a sudden you get caught. There's school buses out in the road. These damn big yellow school buses. How dare they be out here when I'm out here? Now it's going to slow me down because I got to stop, and And how many times have you guys seen where cars just pull out and pass the school bus even though their lights are on?
And I've actually seen that this week.
Yeah, and actually a couple kids there at the beginning of school, not this last week or the week after, I haven't heard anything, but the very first week of school there was a ton of reported near misses of kids almost getting run over for people just passing the bus while their lights are on. And I don't know, for some odd reason, people have very little respect for school buses. And I don't understand why. There's a lot involved, and it's maybe okay, so it's not a glamorous job, but it is a very hard job, just because you do have those 30 or 40 screaming distractions, and that's exactly what they are. They're distractions inside the same vehicle as you, so you have to have their well-being in the back of your mind. So everything you do can affect that child who's not listening, who's standing on the seat. If you all of a sudden tap those brakes or slam on the brakes to avoid something, where's that kid going to end up? Is that kid going to break his back? Is he going to come flying forward and land in the kid in front of him and break their neck? I know this is all gory stuff, but these are all things as a bus driver you have to think of. So while trucking is a challenging career and has its own set of challenges, so does driving a school bus. So, and the last week here that, where I've been announcing, the last couple weeks that I've been, on school buses, I've had a lot of personal messages from people doing the whole, oh, you're driving a school bus. Oh, you're just a bus driver now. There is no such thing as just a bus driver, whether it be a coach, whether it be a school bus, whether it be a city bus. You have your commodity is people's lives, and to drive a bus you have to have a special license. So, and it's a commercial license, a B-class license here in Ontario. I know other provinces in the States it's a different number, different letter, whatever. It still amounts to the same thing. It's a bus license, a passenger bus. And actually, school bus is a higher grade license than a coach license. I believe a coach license is a C. I could be wrong with that, so don't quote me on it. I've never had a C. But a B license is the equivalent here in Ontario to having a D license, which allows you to drive a dump truck. So you could have the B and drive the D. And the B is actually one step below an A. Henceforth, the lettering A, B, C, D, etc. G license being your most basic and common license that the four-wheelers have, right? So, anyway, so for those of you who may think that, oh, I'm just driving a bus, there's a lot more involved. And, you know, we're going to be, in the next few weeks, I'm going to be doing some videos in regards to bus safety, pre-trips on buses. A lot of people don't realize there's actually just as much, if not a little bit more, involved when it comes to a pre-trip and what can put a bus out of service, especially a school bus. And it's little stuff, but if those little things don't work, you're not going to pick up kids. So, at any rate, yeah, so that's what I'm doing now, and it's not necessarily full-time. It's full-time / part-time. It's a split shift. I start my run at 5 to 7 in the morning, so I'm at the bus by 6:15. So it's kind of like working a full-time job, because getting up that early kind of sucks. So I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Then I get to come home during the day, which drives Linda absolutely nuts, which I love. And, you know, take a nap sometimes, because, you know, I'm old and I need it.
I wish I could take a nap.
I know some people are jealous.
I can't even take a nap on the weekends because my little one has just given up on naps.
Oh, really? That kind of...
That was my nap time, Saturdays and Sundays between 2 and 4.
That kind of, you know, sucks when you get used to it. But, you know, even in the truck, I would still be able to stop and take a nap. But it drives Linda nuts, and, well, that's my whole goal, is to drive her nuts. And then I go back out, and I'm home by 6, right? So it's not bad working a split shift. I get to have stuff done during the day. I'm home every night, which is great. Now, here's the other the twist to the coin, or whatever you want to call it. Had I been on the road and back out trucking, I wouldn't have been here for Jess's arrival. So there's a bonus there.
Yeah.
And Jason says, you annoy Linda, ? No way. Jason also put, CDL Life ran a short clip of a big rig passing it on the shoulder when a school bus was picking up kids. Yes, I remember seeing that video. That video went viral on YouTube and on Facebook, I believe. A lot of people don't understand the rules when it comes to, and the dangers involved. And it just, you know, their own distractions and not paying attention. Ian wants to know, why is there no seatbelts on school buses? You know, and I used to ask that question all the time. And you would think, okay, a seatbelt will keep the kid down in their seat. If you got to slam on the brakes, it'll prevent them from, you know, going forward. But the school boards or the school, whoever it is that came up with the safety rules for buses, the reason they don't put seatbelts on the buses is because should the vehicle ever find itself in a situation, whether it be a fire in the front of the bus, back of the bus, whatever, one bus driver trying to go and unbuckle 40 kids while it's either going underwater, flipped over upside down, whatever, in a dangerous situation, they're not going to be able to get the kids out. So they figured, and I know this sounds totally cockeyed, that the injury risk was less by not putting belts in there. And that's why the seat backs on buses are as high as they are and supposedly padded, but, you know, we all know that's a pile of you-know-what. They're not very well padded. And in buses, I find seem to have not advanced like trucks and whatnot, because let me tell you, the bus, the suspension, oh my God, does it suck. It's just horrible. It's like we're back in the 1950s here, for God's sakes, they ride so rough. However, the good news is, next week, I'm hopefully, I put the request in, they said they're going to see what they can come up with me by Monday sometime, is I'm requested a bus with an air seat, because I do a rural route, and those roads are worse than any other road. And so my back has been killing me. So I'm just trying to go through the comments here too. Put your GoPro camera facing the kids. They will smarten up. Yes, and actually, I actually mentioned that to my boss, and that's illegal. They, in the States, and I know a lot of you guys that are in the States will probably already know this. I don't know exactly how many of the U.S. states have it, but I think there's at least 9 or 10 that have already adopted in-bus cameras along with, it's almost like a red light camera that's attached to the, I believe it's the left side of the bus, front and rear, where it takes a picture of, like when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. If a car should pass when it's not supposed to, it will take a picture, like a red light camera, of the car's license plate or the car itself, and they automatically get a ticket. Now, not every state is on board, and there's only, I forget, there's one province that I think has already got it. Ontario is bringing it in. I know we have, from what I've been told, I think a dozen buses ordered that are coming in with these cameras. And we've also got a few other, well, we've got a few with the outside cameras already that they're testing. And there's buses coming in with inside and outside cameras. But because of them being children, and I guess the pedophile laws and all that other stuff that goes with it, the only one that has access to the video is the school. I don't know if it's the school itself, the principal, vice principal, whatever. There's only a very small number of people that have access to these videos. And it's kind of like you guys that are trucking know that they've adopted in the last couple of years these in-cab cameras. And it's put a lot of people up in arms, about privacy issues, etc., etc. And they didn't like the fact that people could at any time chime in, even though that's not how those cameras work. They're basically incident cameras. And they work only once there's a heavy braking or something like that. Whereas the bus cameras record all the time, and they can be viewed all the time. Sorry, guys, I got to take a sip of water. Eric finally offered me some water here. Like, holy jeez. I mean, just because the studio's in his house, he figures I got to bring my own drink or something. Of course, if I brought my own drink, it'd probably have alcohol in it, but, So, anyway, yeah, so they're coming out with these cameras. It's not law here in Ontario yet. There's a few places where they've almost fully adopted it, and I know there's 9 or 10 states. I could be wrong on that number. Don't quote me. There could be more, but I know it's something that's already in place in a lot of places in the U.S., and it's pretty sad, to be honest with you. It's pretty sad that we've had to resort to this kind of safety measure, if you want to call it that, just because of the way people act and the way people drive. That, we can't police ourselves and we can't trust ourselves to do the right thing. There's just too many people, obviously, out there that do the wrong thing. But anyways, that's, the deal with the buses. I can't even speak. Oh my goodness, what the heck?
Sorry, maybe we should have put alcohol in that water.
What did you put in the water? What's in this water here, Eric? After we come back from our next break, I'll talk about why I went to buses and what other choices I had, etc., which there were a lot of. And I know a lot of people have been asking me, why did you choose this? Why didn't you go back to trucking? Are you ever going to go back to trucking? Things like that. And we'll answer some of any questions that may be here in the chat. That you guys may have quickly, so you can type in any questions that you may have here in our live chat that's in the show. I keep trying to go back to the Facebook here, but so anyway, guys, we're going to move to the next break here. We'll be back in a second. Hang tight, go grab yourself a water yourself.
Hi everyone, producer Eric here from Big Rig
We'll
Talk.
be right back.
If you have a product or service related to the trucking industry, we would like to offer you free advertising for your business. Whether you offer overflow parking, a repair shop, or even if you need to recruit a couple of drivers for your growing business, we will advertise it for you. How can you advertise? Simply email us at bigrigtalkshow@gmail.com to find out what time slots are available. Once you're happy with the time slot, we will ask you to record your commercial. All we need from you is the voiceover. We can add sound effects and a jingle. Once the commercial is completed, we will send it back to you and get your approval. And there are no catches. This is 100% free until further notice. Don't wait any longer. Get your business out in a content-rich environment. Email us today at bigrigtalkshow@gmail.com. Do you have a show idea? Contact us at bigrigtalkshow@gmail.com.
Alrighty, we're back. Yes, sir. Bob told you it was going to be a short break. Hope you guys made it to the potty room or that bottle of water that I now have here, which is nice and cold. Still not sure what's in it, though.
I'll drive you home.
You'll drive me home? Oh, so that goes back to that whole we'll leave the car here so your wife thinks I'm still here and she won't ask you to do chores thing like last week?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, that could just be a riot.
I don't know if it's the same thing with you and Linda, but my wife tells me we're going to do something, but then as the day progresses, she keeps adding and adding and adding and adding.
Well, we can tell you guys are not married very long. In our house, it's the other way around. We have all these plans to do stuff, whether it be, house chores, fixing stuff, going places. And then as the day progresses, like, okay, maybe we don't want to go do this. Or, screw it, we'll do it next week, and things like that. It's like, yeah, so we're the exact opposite.
Oh.
Things don't get added to the list, they get taken off the list.
Oh, man.
So
you're lucky.
Which is good. So,
but then there's so much stuff added that we forget the original stuff we have to do, or that has to get done.
Yeah. Well, what can I say? So today's show again is a dry run show. Next week is the official launch. Which is not going to be a whole lot different from today, other than the fact we hope to have our Skype thing working so that you guys can call in and be on air and not just through chat. It's another thing that we want going because we do want to get some live guests on the show where you guys can either call in and ask questions or interact through the chat and things like that. I don't even know if my chat's running right. Well, I know it's running, but I'm not seeing any new stuff, so I don't know if I've done something here. Oh no, it's still going, I think. So what else was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, so why did I choose driving a bus over going back on the highway or Tufel says it's still working. Okay, that just means nobody really wanted to talk to us to begin with. I guess we're not that interesting. But anyway, yeah, why did I didn't go back to trucking? So I had several opportunities. There were some local positions here that I had contacted people, and I was as good as hired. Just other than the usual, send us, we just need to do the official abstract check and things like that, criminal check, which I had. I just, all of a sudden decided, no, that's not what I wanted. And one of the things was hours. Driving local trucks, as a lot of people already who are in trucking know, it's longer and bigger hours than driving highway over the road. Over the road, you have a little bit more control over what hours you do, as far as when you get up, you go. You need to be at your destination by a certain time of delivery time, and what you do from point A to point B and how you schedule your hours is, pretty much up to you. So whether you start your day at 3 or 4 in the morning, finish by 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and, go that way, or whether you drive nights, you have control over. Driving locally, you don't have that control as much, or depends on, what you decide to do. But in a lot of cases, they have set hours for you. And a few of them were, basically starting at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, which wasn't the horrible part. That I can handle. Getting up early is not a big issue. It was the fact that I wasn't going to be finished till 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And these are long days. And because here in Canada, and we had this discussion with someone else, but that'll be time for another show, we have a 16-hour window. So basically, like in the U.S., 14 hours from the time you start your logbook to the time you end is, you have 14 hours in there to do your shift. Whereas here in Canada, you have a 16-hour window. You still only can do 14 hours on duty, 13 hours driving, but you have to do it within a 16-hour window. And basically these hourly local companies want you to do almost that full window. I'm not saying all, but quite a few. Anyways, the ones that were offered to me, there was another one that was offered to me. It would have been working nights, and it was actually ideal. It was only an 8.5, 9-hour shift type deal. It was just running a switch from here to, I think it was not Belleville, Port Hope and back to Ottawa here, which just drive to Port Hope, drop the trailer, pick up another trailer from another driver, and bring it back. That was it. Nice and simple, right? But the problem is it was nights. And I've never been good at driving nights. So I decided, and it was paying really good too for what it was. And then I thought, you know what? I'm not going to say, and I was seriously considering that. And I thought, you know what? It's not fair to the people for me to take the job and take it away from somebody else that really needs it. And then all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, say, you know what? I don't like doing nights. I don't want to do this. So I thought that was not right. And again, I said, taking a job away from somebody who maybe really needs this kind of, type of job where it pays that good, because to be honest with you, I don't need it. I'm in semi-retirement mode. It was forced on me, but it's not something I'm dependent on, which unfortunately there's a lot of people out there that are. And that's the other thing too, to help make the decision of what I was going to do was, I'm 50 years old, going to be 51 this year, and I'm able to say that, I don't need to be dependent on working 70, 80 hours, 90 hours a week and, have to make this $20 or $22 an hour stuff. Whereas some people, they still have the big mortgage payments. They still have the car payments, the bill payments. So they need to grab these hours and work. And it's not like I'm saying, oh, well, I'm letting them have these jobs. It's just I'm not dependent on it. So this is not something I need to do. There were several opportunities for driving dump trucks. But again, it's seasonal and it can be some pretty long hours with that too. And I really just did not want to work these hours. And I drove school bus many, many years ago, kind of in between. My mother had gotten sick and I did it for almost 2 full school seasons while she was not doing so well as a filler, which freed me up a lot. And I kind of liked it, the hours were pretty good. The pay sucks. I'll be honest with you, the pay really does suck. Bus drivers, school bus drivers, and even private industry bus drivers for coaches don't get paid diddly squat. Let me tell you, it is some of the worst pay out there. However, it does have a few benefits, and it kind of fills a void. It gets me out of the house, as Linda put it. I was turning into a basement dweller.
A hobbit?
A hobbit, yeah, basically. So I needed to do something. And none of the other stuff appealed to me, but this did. So, whereas some people don't want to do split shifts. They want to get up, go to work, do their full day, come home. They don't like sitting around the house and doing stuff. Whereas this kind of works out pretty good for me is I get to come home during the day. I get to do my honey-do list that, usually only gets half done. As some of you who watch the videos on Molly and me can have found out. I usually get beaten for it, especially when I don't.
But you know what, Jerry? I think I have the solution for you.
Uh-oh.
All you got to do, really, because it's the most argument I've seen on your videos, is just get the dishwasher emptied.
Yeah, that's the big one, but...
Because, I understand how you feel, because I hate doing that. I'd rather do my dishes by hand.
Oh, well, no, I don't want to do them by hand. I'd just rather let them pile up, and then somebody else will eventually do them. Unfortunately, it's me. So, we don't... and the big thing with Jess being home this week, guess what? She's been home not even a day. I've already sent her out to do groceries. So, because we have no snacks in the house.
What about those popsicles we've been seeing?
Well, that's
you're hoarding those, are you?
Yeah, that's something different. That's totally different. But we don't have any 22-year-old snacks. We don't have the snacks that she likes.
Pear paws?
I don't know. It's
because that's what my 2-year-old eats.
There's-
Bear paws and goldfish crackers.
Yeah, see, Tufel says paper plates and plastic utensils. And you know what? This would work for me. No problem. But, I don't think Linda likes the paper plates and things. But although, mind you, I should probably suggest that because that really would make things easy.
Well,
I mean,
if you buy the paper plates and the plastic utensils, then, you just throw yours in the garbage, and then I guess Linda would be responsible for her dishes, right?
Yeah, exactly. You just open up the garbage door and in they go. You don't have to worry about it. I mean, that can get a little costly too, but what can I do? It's just, although it does make for a good video, people do seem, and I don't know why. What is it up with you guys that enjoy when I get beaten by Linda? They egg her on.
Because you know what? There's nothing you can do about it. And you're in a situation where you're on camera and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, and I seem to just constantly put my foot in my mouth, but I'm good at that. So, they say if you're good at something, go for it. And I seem to be good at getting myself in trouble. Joe May has joined us. Finally, hey, Joe, you woke up from your nap and you joined us. How's it going, buddy? Glad you could join us. Thanks very much for tuning in. I want to thank everyone for tuning in that's listening right now. Even if I don't know you're commenting, if you are listening, for those who haven't been just, content with just sitting back and listening to the show, thanks for listening. And those that are, helping us out by putting comments in the live chat, I really appreciate that also. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get the Skype thing working. Apparently, even though we have not used it since we gotten it, apparently we're malicious spamming.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm almost thinking somehow somebody hacked into it, or because of the name we had, they somehow just automatically assumed we were spammers. I don't know.
Yeah, I got Skype to work now. Now I just got to get this virtual cable to work.
So we're just stuck on the virtual cable. So unfortunately, we couldn't do the call-in portion today, guys. And I apologize for that. So hopefully by next week when we do our official launch, even though today's still a live show, it helps us get an idea of how to keep things rolling and moving. Unlike the pre-recorded show last week where, we had to take a couple of takes on things. Here today we can't do the couple of takes. It's running no matter what. And that's where we appreciated input from Tufel letting us know about the echo, etc. Things like that. It gives us an opportunity to try to catch the problems right away. But for the echo, we want Eric to sound like he's in a box, because I don't want to keep him out in the open. Then he's gonna think that he has free range or something like that, and it's I mean, come on, we got to keep him in the box. Got to keep him confined.
That's like marriage.
Oh, let's not. No. I have one wife. That's enough. Thank you. I don't need a second one. Oh my goodness, listen to him. That's just unspeakable. So anyway, we're also, just to add to this, guys, before we go to our I don't know if this is going to be our final break, something like that. So I have no idea. He held up a bunch of fingers, which totally threw me off.
That's a 5.
Oh, that's a 1.
So 6 minutes.
6. We've got 6 minutes for a break still.
Yeah.
But okay, if you say so. So never mind what I was about to say. I'm trying to rush it here, as if I thought we were going to break. Apparently not.
We can go for a break if you want.
You getting the beer, the pizza?
No.
Go for a break. Oh no, that kind of break. Okay.
Yeah.
So as you guys can tell, this is a live talk call-in show without the call-in portion today, just the chat portion. So I get to pretend I'm you when I read off your comments here. And I do got to admit, I do like Tufel's comment here. It says, jazz it up and put some aluminum foil over the paper plates so it looks regal. Joe wants to know, did anyone come up with a nickname for Eric yet? Well, we're just calling him Eric in the Box right now. I did mention, Joe, that you had the idea of, Big E, but, that might go to his head. So
with big ego.
Yeah, big ego. So I think Eric in the Box, it's kind of like Jack in the Box, Eric in the Box. But yeah, we'll still leave that open for a little bit for anyone to chime in on that portion of it. Mad Eric, yes. We could always go Mad Eric.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember. Somebody had posted this week on the Big Rig Talk Facebook group something from Roadmaster, and it was kind of one of those deals where you put in your first name and the month you were born. I can't remember what it was, but
for a trucker name.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes. Actually, that was up there earlier. I saw that, and mine was really weird.
Mine was like Gear Jammin' something.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it here now. What's your trucker name? And that was posted by Hank. And mine would be Rock City Offload, which makes no sense.
No.
Like, I don't get it. But anyways. So we're going to come up with something good for Eric at some point. I've totally lost my chat window for the Facebook, but I don't think anyone's chatting on Facebook. They all seem to be chatting in here, which is fantastic that everyone's following along here. Totally lost my train of thought. I don't even know where I was going. I kind of like did the whole squirrel thing.
Yeah.
So, but either way, he's holding up a fist. I'm worried. Is he going to like reach over and punch me or something?
I can't reach you. That's Linda's job.
Okay. You're going to leave it all up to her, right? So we're looking for show ideas, guys. So anything you guys, because we want to make this show about you and what you want to talk about, not just me going on. This is an extension of the Big Rig Talk video, although we did not do any video for today's show. I'll put something else up, possibly, or I'm going to be starting my school bus / pre-trip safety thing on buses for that pretty soon. I'm going to try with our live show. We're going to do a video portion next week to go on BRT, but this is an extension of that where you guys get to participate, whereas within the videos there wasn't really any participation from you. And if you guys remember way back when, we did the Google Hangouts, but the problem with that was a lot of people didn't want to do video, and Google Hangouts, it's about visual, it's about video, again, kind of like YouTube. Whereas this, you don't have to worry about us, seeing your ugly face. Oh, sorry, did I say that out loud? It's more my ugly face that you don't have to worry about seeing, because, I got a face for radio.
Is that really why you want a divider between us?
Well, that was just so I didn't have to look at you. I mean, no. But yeah, we're trying to still, Eric was, and his wife actually was gracious enough to allow us to set up a little mini studio, which is still in progress here. Work in progress, or
yeah, it's a work in progress.
Work in progress. So we'll eventually have it set up properly. But yeah, we want to make this show for you guys. So we need subjects and topics of what's important to you guys, what you'd like to talk about, or what you'd like me to talk about, or subjects you want me to touch on, whether it be tips and tricks on the road, whether it be. Don't ask me for healthy tips, like healthy eating ideas. You guys know there is nothing healthy about anything I do when it comes to eating on the road, although I did try, and we can touch on, storage, food storage, or, shopping, things like that. Little tips and tricks as far as tools, things to bring, all stuff that I've done in videos in the past. We can maybe bring up some old videos and rehash those topics, but do it here on the show where you guys get to participate as far as your input goes, what works for you and things like that. So we definitely need, your input as far as helping us out with the ideas and what you want to talk about. Again, we don't want to make this anything political. Jason did mention here about the speed limiter subject and what's going on with that. These are kind of things that, yes, we can do shows dedicated to that, giving you guys an opportunity to chime in to what you think of these subjects. And I can also give my opinion, but it's not just going to be one-sided where it's going to be just my opinion. It'll be everyone's opinion. So anyway, guys, we're going to go into our final break here. And when we come back, we're going to do our wrap-up. So stick around, and we'll be back before you know it.
Hi everyone, producer Eric here from Big Rig Talk. If you have a product or service related to the trucking industry, we would like to offer you free advertising for your business. Whether you offer overflow parking, a repair shop, or even if you need to recruit a couple of drivers for your growing business, we will advertise it for you. How can you advertise? Simply email us at bigrigtalkshow@gmail.com to find out what time slots are available. Once you're happy with the time slots, we will ask you to record your commercial. All we need from you is the voiceover. We can add sound effects and a jingle. Once the commercial is completed, we will send it back to you and get your approval. And there are no catches. This is 100% free until further notice. Don't wait any longer. Get your business out in a content-rich environment. Email us today at bigrigtalkshow@gmail.com. Do you have a show idea? Contact us at bigrigtalkshow@gmail.com.
And we're back. Yes, sir, Bob. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I know I said that already. And somewhere in the world, whoever's watching, listening to the replay, it is those times. But, Henry, we're coming into our last segment of the show. In today's show, we're putting her around the hour. And it's not to say that future shows will only be an hour. We may extend them if we get, good participation. People, a lot of questions or people wanting to chime in and whatnot. We'll extend the show, most definitely. Like I said, this show is here for you guys. And it's going to be about you guys. Just because I'm not driving a truck right now and out on the road, it's not to say that we can't make this about that. I mean, I've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, sold the t-shirt, gave the t-shirt away, There isn't too much I haven't done. But again, at the same token, there's a lot of stuff I haven't done. And that's where I want you guys to come in. It's all about participation. And this show is going to allow you guys to do that. To be able to chime in, give your thoughts, your ideas, give your 2 cents worth. It's not going to be one-sided. We're like in the YouTube videos. I gave my opinion, and people assumed, and I don't know why, that, this must be the gospel. He's giving us, how dare he say this? I do things like this. Well, my opinion is one side. It's only what's worked for me. So that's all I can really tell you about. I can't tell you what worked for other people unless they've told me about it, and I'm just reiterating what they've said, type deal. And also, guys, don't chastise the messenger when we start doing some of the news stories, like on the ELDs and like the electronic logs, the speed limiters, things like that are in the news. We're just bringing them up because they are news, and they're big in the news, and they're stuff that's going to affect you, the drivers. And so we're just the messenger type deal, and we're trying to get those stories out. I know there's other trucking shows out there, big popular ones, but they have their own agenda. And so we want to make this a little bit different than some of the other ones. We want to focus on listener participation and, what is good for you guys, what you want to hear about. So really, it's about you guys. So, and I got to thank Eric again. Eric is the one. I mean, I'll admit, Big Rig Talk was kind of stagnant. I didn't know which direction to go in. And so Eric came up with the idea, contacted me, and I thought it was a fantastic idea to give the show a little bit new flavor. So
I think it was a good step, because you were very good with even answering people on YouTube. Like, I've read a lot of the comments, and I thought, this could be a good way to get the listeners to chime in, but to actually be live and chime about it.
Well, yeah, exactly. I'm just reading here what Jason put again in regards to the speed limiters being mandated. Yep, there's been several articles. Someone had mentioned, I don't know if it was you, Jason, or somebody else that had even mentioned it earlier in the week, and I looked it up on Landline Magazine. We're going to be bringing you a lot of stories from Landline Magazine just because they are a trustworthy news site. And they are out there fighting for the truckers, which is OOIDA, in case anyone didn't know that already. But that's going to be a topic or subjects for another show. We don't have enough time to get into that here. We're in our wrap-up segment, and so we're just getting ready to, wrap her up today. We do want to hear from you guys that are listening to the replays, what you thought of the show, how you felt of the flow. Again, show ideas and whatnot. Hopefully next weekend we will have Skype working.
Yeah, everything's going to be working this week.
And you guys will be able to call in. We're going to try to test it a couple times during the week on our own. So you may see something up there all of a sudden saying, oh my gosh, they're doing a show. It's not really going to be a show. We might just do something that's testing to make sure, because we do want to get it working in time for the live show, that we're not going to have too many bugs. But other than that, so do you got anything big planned this week other than fixing our bugs?
Not really. It's the last week before we open up the business there, so it's and plus I'll have to train. Believe it or not, I'll have to train a truck driver. Not driving the truck, but he's got to operate a clam, like a logging clam, to load scrap into a truck and a trailer. So that's where most of my
your time's going to be spent.
My time will be, and it was very hard to find this guy. Like, this guy at least has experience with floating stuff, but it's very hard to find a truck driver that has a clam truck experience.
Yeah, well, it's not a common thing. I mean, yes, there's clamp trucks out there, but it's not something that's commonly done. That, and it involves real work.
Yeah.
So. But that's another subject too on current. Someone had mentioned current pay rate. Someone was mentioning drivers only want to they want to be paid what they're worth, or what they're for what they're doing, not just by the mile. Mm-hmm. And that's a whole subject we'll get into maybe in our opening show next weekend. I don't think people really understand, and I know that may be a poor way of putting it. Understand how the cents per mile thing is meant to work. But again, that's another show, so we're not going to really get into that. But I definitely want to thank everyone who's participated in today's show. Again, Jason, Joe, Tufel, John, who listened in, and then we've got Ian. I'm just scrolling back down here. Oh, Marianne was here also. I don't know. We didn't really touch on your CB handles or your favorite trucks. I think
we'll put that one in the vault, and we'll take it out maybe next year or something.
Yeah, we'll have to redo that on another show because we talked about everything else but that, other than Marianne mentioning what her favorite truck was. Oh, and Ian, I got to say, even though we've only had the couple mentions, Ian wins. Ian had the best truck out of all of them. I mean, how can you argue with that? Ice cream truck. I mean, that's definitely the best truck out there. So we're going to wrap it up here slowly. We still got a couple minutes that we want to chime off. If anyone has something they want to add as far as in the comments, throw it in there now, because we're going to be closing this up, and hopefully you guys enjoyed today's show, and it's going in the direction that you guys want. Mm-hmm. So please, comment. We want the comments. It's not that negative comment. We want constructive, again, it's the water. Constructive criticism. Tell us what you liked, what you didn't like. Don't worry. I'm not going to chastise anyone for saying, I didn't like this, or, you rambled on too much about this. Remember, today's just a dry run show. Next week, once we have you guys able to call in and participate a little bit more directly, things might go a little differently. Hopefully next week we'll be able to stay on topic, but who knows?
I think that's why we need to work with the one topic.
Yeah, we'll just keep it with one topic for now instead of trying to do... Oh, mind you, we had multiple topics and we still we kind of strayed from that, so It doesn't really matter. We'll just let the show run the way it runs. We'll come up with a topic. Whether it works or not, we don't know. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up. I'm Jerry. I'm BRT. And, well, we've got Eric in the box. And man and all the buttons. We'll talk to you next week, guys. Be good. Be safe.